now, here's the asteroid story. An asteroid the size of the Rose Bowl, more than 1,000 feet across, feels its way toward the Earth right now. It'll come by first in 2029, and we'll see it up there. It'll be closer than our satellites, a thing the size of the Rose Bowl hurtling through the air. And then it comes again in 2036, and that's when it may get interesting. The debate over just how close it'll get is sparking some serious debate between Russian scientists and American scientists. Here's a satellite picture of the thing. This is from, well, with this and, you know, this tells you nothing. But see it there? I don't know, that circly thing in the middle maybe? This was from 2004. It doesn't look very intimidating here. Both sides seem to agree that in 3 decades, the asteroid will fly very close to Earth. But Russian scientists warn that our planet's gravity could change the asteroid's path and set it on a collision course. NASA scientists say there is a minuscule, little bitty chance of that happening. 1 in 250,000. Better than winning the lotto, and somebody will. Joining us now, Michio Kaku. He's a theoretical physics professor at City University of New York, CUNY. He's also the author of Physics of the Future, and a new book coming out in about a month, and we'll tell you about that in about a month. So, good to see you. 2029, it flies by underneath the satellites.
That's right. Mark it on your calendar. Friday the 13th, April 2036. The
well, that's
big
the
one.
second pass.
On the second pass, right? The first pass, like you said, it comes right underneath our satellites. You can actually see it whizzing right overhead.
Wow.
And on the second pass, it might actually be a nation buster. It'll take out Germany. It'll take out France, England.
Not England.
Right. Or the entire northeast of the United States.
Careful.
It'll hit with the force of 100,000 Hiroshima bombs.
Really? If it hits?
If it hits, right. It's a catastrophe beyond human comprehension. And the head of the Russian Space Agency has said that the Russian scientists should think of some ways of deflecting it or handling this menace in 2036.
What are we going to do? Shoot it with a laser?
Well, everyone thinks we'll send Bruce Willis out there with the space shuttle. But the space shuttle can't even reach outer space. We're phasing it out, and the space shuttle only spins wheels around the planet Earth. It cannot even go to deep space. We need a new booster rocket to take us out there.
Maybe China will build us one.
Maybe, and then we have to nudge it out of the way. The farther it is, the easier it is to push it out with rockets so it'll miss the planet Earth. But it's something that we have to take seriously. This is the first major threat from a giant meteor or asteroid.
Were it to hit us, do we know what it would do to our rotation around the sun and the spinning on the axis?
Well, it will definitely affect the rotation of the Earth as it goes around the sun. The immediate impact would be a gigantic shock wave going out maybe 50 to 100 miles, then firestorms going out to hundreds of miles beyond that.
Firestorms.
And then meteorites raining back down on the planet Earth. So the devastation would be on the order of 500 to 1,000 miles. Think of a bullseye containing half the United States. That's the potential impact. And again, it's a very tiny probability, but we're watching it very carefully.
Because the thinking among some of these Russian scientists is that the first time it passes, the gravitational pull of the Earth could pull it closer, and then on the second pass in 2036,
the wild card is also the atmospheric disturbances. It's going to come right to the outskirts of our own atmosphere. Friction is going to take place, and that's unpredictable. We simply don't know how it's going to react as it whizzes through the atmosphere of the Earth, and that could affect the second pass, and that's why we're keeping our fingers crossed in 2036.
2 sets of fingers crossed. But isn't the world ending in 2012? The Mayan calendar seems to indicate.
Well, if you look at the Mayan calendar, it actually says that it's cyclical, and we could be witnessing a rebirth. We should be celebrating then. And personally, I hope to be around in 2013. So don't sell the store, don't get divorced, don't ruin your life in 2012.
All right, I'm sure some people will. News from the future. 2012 is going to be weird. It's great to see you. I'll see you in a month for that new book, right?
Right, Physics of the Future, about the next 50 to 100 years.
I can't wait. You interviewed 300 times.
Hi, I'm Jim Green, Director of Planetary Science at NASA. You know, NASA works with the international science community to explore our solar system and beyond. We look to unravel the mysteries that intrigue us all as we explore and answer the big questions. Questions like, how did the Earth originate and change over time? How did the solar system begin and evolve? And what will be its destiny? What will be our destiny? Last July 14th, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto, capping a half-century of exploration of our solar system. It piqued our interest about what lies beyond Pluto and what can we learn about ourselves and the origins of our solar system. The idea of a new planet is certainly an exciting one for me as a planetary scientist, and I think for all of us. The January 20th paper in the Astronomical Journal is fueling our interest in planetary exploration and stimulating a healthy debate that's part of the scientific process. I couldn't be more pleased about what's happening. You know, it's all about starting the process that could lead to an exciting result. It is not, however, the detection of a new planet. It's too early to say with certainty that there's a so-called Planet X out there. What we're really seeing is an early prediction based on modeling from limited observations. What's exciting is that, like NASA's journey to Mars or New Horizons flyby of Pluto, you will have a front row seat to see how the scientific process unfolds. Theories like this serve to stimulate ideas and conversation. They tap into our innate curiosity. It's important for us to continue to work, and we will. Anytime we have an interesting idea like this, we always apply Carl Sagan's rules for critical thinking, which include independent confirmation of the facts, looking for alternate explanations, and encouraging scientific debate. If Planet X is out there, we'll find it together. Or we'll determine an alternate explanation for the data that we've received so far. Now, let's go explore.
Serious? Are you serious? It's getting very serious out here. Get a cup of coffee. BP Earthwatch, I guess, yesterday did a video last night. I saw it yesterday evening where Mount St. Helens has had a series of earthquakes that are not being reported. I repeat, not being reported at all by the U.S. Geological Survey. And they're happening right inside, right on top of Mount St. Helens there, right in the dome area where the last eruption took place in May of 1980. I remember that election, that eruption. I remember the election too, by the way. The eruption, I was actually a senior in high school, and I was just getting ready to graduate. It was like a couple weeks before graduation when Mount St. Helens exploded, and it did. It blew the top of the mountain off. It was an incredible event, one of biblical proportions. Well, it's rumbling a little bit again. Matter of fact, there was some seismic activity taking place, and when BP Earthwatch began to dig a little deeper, we found out there's even been a landslide event, and maybe still ongoing, a little bit of a landslide going on up on top of that mountain. Now, if you've ever been to Washington State, it's a beautiful state. I've been to Mount Rainier, where we took a day one time. My oldest son was stationed at Fort Lewis, out there south of Seattle, Washington, and we actually took a day, the whole family, and drove out to Mount Rainier, went as high as we could go by road. And I'll never forget, it was a July day, and we were having a snowball fight when we got up there. Just a spectacular view of Mount Rainier. But I tell you, the beauty of these gorgeous mountains, these that were still volcanoes, it's not a pretty sight if they blow. And we may have something going on here. Now, he even looked into some of the seismic activity, and there was a quake. See, some of the people living in that area felt a quake. They called in, they felt it all over the place. They called in, hundreds of people did, and the U.S. Geological Survey and the local authorities there and what have you said there's nothing on the scales. There's nothing there. But there is. Matter of fact, inside some of the data, BP was able to find where there was several small earthquakes and tremors, and there was one quake that looked like could have been as much as a 5. Yet it's not recorded anywhere on the U.S. Geological Survey. So that's what I was saying. They downsize the numbers constantly. They're recalibrating they're reporting because they just don't want to tell you exactly what's taking place. The earth crust is moving and shifting, and we're under a ton of stress and pressure on this planet. But it's exactly what the Bible said would happen. There would be earthquakes in diverse places, different places. Famines would come. There's going to be chaos in the land. Give your life to Jesus Christ, folks. We're running out of